Deep within the annals of history, shrouded in mystery and controversy, lies a document as captivating as it is perplexing, the Oera Linda Book. This enigmatic manuscript has intrigued scholars and historians for centuries, sparking debates and fueling imaginations. This ancient text, so the story goes, recounts the saga of a forgotten people, the Frisians, and their dominion over a vast and powerful empire. The Frisians, according to the book, were a seafaring people with advanced knowledge and a rich cultural heritage, whose influence stretched far and wide. Is it a genuine relic of a bygone era, or an elaborate hoax meticulously crafted to deceive? The authenticity of the Oera Linda Book has been a subject of intense scrutiny, with experts divided on its origins and purpose. The answer, my friends, remains elusive, cloaked in shadows and whispered rumors. Some believe it to be a true account of a lost civilization, while others argue it is a clever fabrication designed to mislead. Our journey takes us to the windswept shores of the Netherlands, a land steeped in maritime history and ancient lore. The Netherlands, with its rich history of exploration and trade, provides the perfect backdrop for the tale of the Oera Linda Book. It is here, amidst the dunes and canals, that the Oera Linda Book first surfaced, igniting a firestorm of debate that rages to this very day. The discovery of the manuscript was a momentous event, capturing the attention of historians and the public alike. Some dismiss it as an audacious forgery, while others cling to the belief that it holds the key to unlocking a lost chapter in human history. The divide between skeptics and believers is stark, with each side presenting compelling arguments. The book's very existence challenges our understanding of the past, forcing us to question the narratives we have long accepted as truth. It compels us to reconsider the history we thought we knew, opening the door to new possibilities and interpretations. Could it be that a civilization, mighty and advanced, once flourished in this corner of the world, leaving behind only whispers and fragments of its former glory? The idea of a lost Frisian empire is tantalizing, suggesting a hidden chapter of human history waiting to be uncovered. The Oera Linda Book dares to suggest as much, beckoning us to delve into its enigmatic pages and unravel the secrets they hold. The manuscript is filled with cryptic passages and ancient symbols, each one a clue to the past. Fasten your seatbelts, adventurers, as we embark on a thrilling quest for knowledge, deciphering ancient texts and navigating treacherous academic waters. The journey to uncover the truth is fraught with challenges, but the rewards are immeasurable. The truth, as always, lies somewhere out there, waiting to be discovered. Whether the Oera Linda Book is a genuine artifact or an elaborate hoax, its story continues to captivate and inspire, reminding us of the endless mysteries that history holds.
Imagine, if you will, a time-worn manuscript, its pages filled with strange characters and fantastical tales. The ink, faded and smudged, tells stories that seem to leap off the page, transporting you to a world long forgotten. This, my friends, is the Oera Linda Book, a document that purports to chronicle the history of a people known as the Frisians, tracing their lineage back to an antediluvian era. It claims to be a window into a time before recorded history, a time when myth and reality were intertwined. The book's origins are as murky as the canals of Amsterdam on a moonless night. Its provenance is shrouded in mystery, with tales of secret societies and hidden knowledge adding to its allure.
It allegedly surfaced in 1867, a time when Europe was gripped by a fascination with ancient texts and lost civilizations, when a man named Cornelis Over de Linden claimed to have inherited it from his ancestors. Over de Linden, a shipwright by trade, found himself at the center of a historical maelstrom. According to Over de Linden, the book had been passed down through his family for generations, a sacred relic entrusted to their care. Each generation, he said, had guarded it with their lives, aware of its immense value and the secrets it held. The manuscript, written in a language unknown to scholars at the time, sent shockwaves through the academic world. Linguists and historians alike were baffled by its script, which bore no resemblance to any known language. Here was a text that seemingly defied categorization, a linguistic enigma wrapped in historical riddles. The more scholars studied it, the more questions it raised, challenging their understanding of history and language. The Oera Linda Book, if authentic, promised to rewrite history as we knew it, offering a glimpse into a lost civilization that had long since vanished beneath the sands of time. It spoke of a people with advanced knowledge and a rich culture, whose achievements had been forgotten by the annals of history. But could such a document truly be genuine? The academic community was divided, with some hailing it as a groundbreaking discovery, while others dismissed it as an elaborate hoax. Could a text of such profound historical significance have remained hidden for centuries, only to emerge in the hands of an unassuming Dutch family? The very idea seemed improbable, yet the evidence was there, demanding to be examined. The world, it seemed, was eager to find out. Scholars, historians, and curious minds from all corners of the globe turned their attention to the Oera Linda Book, each hoping to unlock its secrets and uncover the truth behind its mysterious origins.
One of the most intriguing aspects of the Oera Linda Book is the language in which it is written. This mysterious text has baffled scholars and linguists for generations, sparking debates and theories that span across the academic world. The script, at first glance, appeared entirely alien, almost as if it were from another world or a long-forgotten civilization. It bore little resemblance to any known language, making it a puzzle that many have tried to solve, but few have succeeded in understanding. Proponents of the book's authenticity claimed that the text was written in a primordial form of Frisian, a language spoken in the northern Netherlands since time immemorial. They believed that this ancient dialect held secrets and wisdom from a bygone era. This form of Frisian, they argued, was not just a regional dialect, but a key to understanding the cultural and historical context of the people who wrote the Oera Linda Book. They argued that this ancient tongue, long lost to the annals of history, held the key to unlocking the secrets of the Oera Linda Book. It was a language that could potentially rewrite our understanding of early European history. The proponents believed that by deciphering this language, we could uncover hidden knowledge and insights that have been buried for centuries.
Linguists, however, were not so easily convinced. They approached the text with a critical eye, wary of the claims made by the book's advocates. They scrutinized the language, analyzing its structure, grammar, and vocabulary, searching for any hint of authenticity. Their methods were meticulous, leaving no stone unturned in their quest for the truth. Searching for any hint of authenticity, they compared the text to known languages and dialects, looking for patterns and consistencies that could validate the book's origins. Their findings, however, were far from conclusive. While some aspects of the language seemed genuine, others raised red flags, suggesting that the text might not be as ancient as claimed. While some scholars acknowledge similarities between the language of the Oera Linda Book and ancient Frisian dialects, these similarities were not enough to definitively prove the book's authenticity. Others dismissed it as a clever fabrication, a patchwork of existing languages cobbled together to create an air of authenticity. They argued that the text was designed to deceive, a linguistic hoax meant to mislead even the most discerning scholar. The debate over the language of the Oera Linda Book continues to this day, with scholars on both sides presenting compelling arguments and evidence. The debate over the language of the Oera Linda Book continues to this day, a linguistic Gordian knot that is yet to be unraveled. Each new discovery seems to raise more questions than answers, adding to the mystery and intrigue surrounding this enigmatic text. Is it a genuine relic of a lost tongue, or a cunning linguistic forgery designed to mislead even the most discerning scholar? The answer, it seems, remains tantalizingly out of reach. As researchers continue to delve into the mysteries of the Oera Linda Book, the quest for truth becomes ever more complex. Each new piece of evidence adds another layer to the puzzle, making it one of the most fascinating linguistic enigmas of our time. The answer, it seems, remains tantalizingly out of reach, but the journey to uncover it is a testament to the enduring human spirit of curiosity and discovery. At the heart of the Oera Linda Book lies a tantalizing claim that a powerful Frisian empire once held sway over much of the ancient world.
According to the book, this empire, founded by a people known as the Ingvaiones, stretched from the shores of North America to the distant reaches of India.
The Frisians, it is said, were a seafaring people, their ships plying the oceans long before the rise of the Phoenicians or the Greeks.
They were skilled navigators, astronomers, and builders, erecting megalithic structures and establishing trade routes that spanned the globe.
The Oera Linda Book paints a vivid picture of this lost empire, describing its customs, beliefs, and achievements in meticulous detail.
We read of a society governed by a council of matriarchs, where women held positions of power and influence.
We learn of their reverence for nature, their worship of a mother goddess, and their belief in reincarnation.
The book even claims that the Frisians possessed advanced knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and medicine, far surpassing that of other civilizations of their time.
Is it possible that such an empire truly existed, only to be erased from the historical record? Could the Oera Linda Book be the only surviving testament to their greatness? The Oera Linda Book is replete with place names that seem to echo familiar locations scattered across the globe.
One such example is Freyasburg, a city described in the book as a major center of Frisian culture and commerce.
Proponents of the book's authenticity point to the striking similarity between Freyasburg and Freiburg, a city located in southwestern Germany.
Could Freiburg, they ask, be the modern-day counterpart of this ancient Frisian metropolis?
Similarly, the book mentions a city called Warburg, which some believe to be a corruption of the name Würzburg, another German city with a rich history.
While such linguistic connections may seem tenuous at first glance, proponents argue that they provide compelling evidence to support the book's claims.
They suggest that these place names, preserved through centuries of oral tradition, offer tantalizing clues to the geographic reach and influence of the ancient Frisian Empire.
Could it be that the echoes of this lost civilization are still audible today, embedded in the very names we use for our cities and towns?
The Oera Linda Book invites us to consider such possibilities, to re-examine the world around us with fresh eyes and an open mind.
The ancient world is full of mysteries. Lost civilizations and forgotten empires whisper to us through the sands of time. Archaeologists and historians piece together fragments of the past, trying to understand the connections between different cultures. One such mystery involves the ancient Frisians, a seafaring people from northern Europe, and their alleged links to the Phoenicians, renowned traders and explorers from the eastern Mediterranean. Could these two seemingly distant cultures have been connected in the distant past? Some believe that the answers lie hidden within the pages of a controversial manuscript known as the Oera Linda Book. This ancient text, purportedly a chronicle of Frisian history dating back millennia, describes a maritime empire that spanned the globe and interacted with civilizations from the Mediterranean to the Americas. While the authenticity of the Oera Linda Book remains a subject of debate, its contents have ignited the imaginations of historians, linguists, and anyone intrigued by the mysteries of the ancient world. Could this book hold the key to unlocking the secrets of ancient Frisian-Phoenician connections?
When Atlantis sank, there was significant turmoil along the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. As a result, many people from the Finda tribe migrated to our distant Greek lands, and also many from the lands of Lydda, Africa, Libya, Egypt. Conversely, many from our tribe moved to Lydda's land. This led to the distant Greek lands losing their allegiance to the mother's authority. Thonis had anticipated this and wanted to establish a good harbor there and sail for the wealthy princes. However, since his fleet and people looked so ragged, the Khadimers, coastal dwellers, thought they were robbers and repelled them everywhere. Eventually, they arrived at the Phoenician coast, 193 years after Atlan sank. Near the coast, they found an island with 2 deep bays, making it appear as 3 islands. They set up their refuge on the middle one and later built a fortress wall around it. When it came to naming it, there was disagreement. Some wanted to call it Freyasburg, others Nitunia, but the Magyars and Finns requested it be named Thyrhisburg, after one of their gods, because they had landed there on his birthday. To show gratitude, they wanted to eternally recognize Thonis as their king. Thonis accepted, and the others did not want to fight over it. Once they were settled, they sent some old sailors and Magyars to the shore and further to the fortress of Sidon. Initially, the Khadimers were not interested, saying, "You are far-off wanderers whom we cannot respect." However, when we offered to sell them our iron weapons, everything eventually went well. They were also very eager for our amber, and their demand for it was endless. What happened next? In the northernmost corner of the Mediterranean Sea lies an island near that coast. They eventually asked to buy it. A general assembly was called for this matter. The mother's advice was sought, and she preferred to see them far away. Therefore, she believed there was no harm in it, But in hindsight, when we saw how we had acted wrongly, we named that island Miscellia, the whole island of the United Kingdom, Britannia. Here it will be shown why we had reason to do so. The Golan, the first Hebrews, Israelites, Jews, as the missionary priests of Sidon were called, had seen that the land was sparsely populated and far from the mother. To give themselves a good appearance, they called themselves devoted to faith in our language, but it would have been better if they had called themselves faithless or simply Triuindan, Druids, as our sailors later did. Once settled, their merchants traded beautiful copper weapons and various ornaments for our iron weapons and hides of wild animals, which were abundant in our southern lands. But the Golan held all sorts of vile, monstrous festivals, where the Catamars served them through their lewd girls and the sweetness of their poisonous wine. If any of our people had committed such severe offenses that their lives were in danger, the Golan provided them with refuge and shelter, taking them to Phoenicia, Israel, or Palm Land. Once there, they had to write to their relatives, friends, and kin, claiming that the land was so good and the people so happy that no one could imagine. In Britannia, there were many men, but few women. Knowing this, the Golan orchestrated the abduction of girls everywhere, giving them to the Britons for free. However, all these girls were their servants, stealing children of Ralda to offer them to their false gods. From the book Attila's Helpers, Phallastar Followers, we learn that during the time Cadmus is said to have lived, approximately 16 centuries before Christ, there were lively trade relations between the Frisians and the Phoenicians, whom they called Catamar, meaning coastal dwellers. The name Cadmus closely resembles Catamar, suggesting that Cadmus simply means a Phoenician. Furthermore, we read that around the same time, a priestess from the fortress on Walcheren, Minerva, also known as Nihilenia, led a Frisian colony to settle in Attica and founded the fortress of Athens. It also appears from the records inscribed on the walls of the Waraburch that the Finda people had their own script, but it was very cumbersome and difficult to read. Therefore, the Tyrians and Greeks learned the Phraia script. This explanation clarifies everything and makes it evident how the similarity between Greek and Old Frisian scripts arose, something that also caught Caesar's eye among the Gauls. Thus, the Greeks adopted both the names from Finda and the forms of Phraea's script. Equally remarkable are the shapes of the numerals. Our numerals are commonly called Arabic numerals, although they bear no resemblance to Arabic numerals. The Arabs in Spain did not bring their numerals from the East, as the Semitic peoples used the entire alphabet to write numbers. The method of using 10 symbols to express all numbers was learned by the Arabs in the West. Our numerals turn out to be originally Frisian, Sifar, whose forms have the same origin as the script and are derived from the lines of the jewel. The book, as it lies before us, consists of two very different parts, separated by a significant period. The author of the first part calls herself Adela, the wife of Apol, Gravetman over the Linda Orden. This is continued by her son Adelbrast and her daughter Apollonia. The first book, running from pages 188, is written by Adela. A continuation from pages 88 to 94 was begun by Adelbrast and continued by Apollonia. The second book, running from pages 94 to 114, is written by Apollonia. Much later, perhaps 250 years later, a third book was written from pages 114 to 134 by Frethhorik. Then, from pages 134 to 143 by his widow Wilio, thereafter from pages 144 to 169 by their son Conarid, and from pages 169 to 192 by their grandson Beden. Now, pages 193 and 194 are missing, where the last part, starting from page 195 to 210, would have begun, making the author unknown, likely a son of Beden. Wiljo mentions on page 134 other writings, the Book of Songs, the Book of Stories, and the Helenia book, and then the writings of Della or Helenia. For the chronological determinations, we must start from the year 1256 AD, when Hiddo Oera Linda made the copy. He says it was 3449 years after the sinking of Atland. This sinking of the old land, Uldland, Utland, is also remembered by the Greeks, and Plato mentions the lost Atlantis in his Timaeus, noting only that it lay far beyond the Pillars of Hercules. From this document, it appears that it was a vast land west of Jutland, of which Helgoland and the North Frisian Islands are the last remnants. This event, apparently causing a large dispersion of the Frisian tribe, was the start of a distinct timeline, corresponding to 2193 BC, known to geologists as the First Cimbrian Flood. On page 80, a story begins in the year 1602 after the sinking of Atland, thus in 591 BC. Page 82 describes the murder of Frunna, the honorary mother on Texland, 2 years later in 589. When Adela starts her writing with her appearance at a public assembly, 30 years after the murder of the honorary mother, we find ourselves in the year 559 BC. From her daughter Apollonia's writings, we learn that Adela was killed 15 months after that assembly during an invasion of Texland by the Finns. This must have happened in 557 BC, and it follows that the first book was written by Adela in 558 BC. The second book, written by Apollonia, can thus be dated around 530 BC. The later part contains the history of the famous kings of Friesland, Friso, Edel, Ubo, and Asega Askar, known as Black Edel. However, nothing is mentioned about the third king, Ubo, or rather, this part is lost, as pages 169 to 188 are missing. Frethoric, the first writer mentioned here, is a contemporary of the events he narrates, namely the arrival of Friso. He is a friend of Liudgert, the Geertman, who came here at night on Witchhirt, the Sea King's fleet, with Friso in the year 303 BC, 1890 years after the sinking of Atland. From Liudgert's diary, he derived many of his accounts. The last writer clearly shows himself as a contemporary of Blackadel or Askar, about midway through his reign, which Firmarius dates from 70 BC to 11 AD, contemporaneous with Julius Caesar and Augustus. He wrote thus in the mid-1st century BC and was aware of the Roman conquest of the land of the Gauls.